Hi.
Hi, thanks for coming in today for the WYSE advisor position. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me. Kind of excited to be here.
Alright, good. So we're going to start now. Please tell us about yourself and why you're interested in this position.
Okay. I recently graduated from Mason. I had a degree in environmental policy and also a minor in communications. I previously worked for the admissions office, and the position looks like it is intriguing to kind of advance the career type I'm going into.
Okay. Can you comment on your experience working with students both individually and in a large group? And if you can describe a situation in which you had to work with a difficult person, like a student, coworker, customer, supervisor.
Okay.
How did you handle the situation, and is there anything you would have done differently?
Okay. I can tell you I've worked not only for the admissions office, but also in Baltimore, Maryland. I worked for a nonprofit organization, Student Conservation Association. It was a 4-month program, and kind of similar to this, we had to work with students. Not just a week program, but 4 months. So you got to know them a little bit more intimately, and it was a nice situation because you got to watch these kids grow and kind of learn about the policies. There were a couple different situations where after 4 months you kind of get stale with the material, so it was hard to keep these kids motivated. One in particular, when you have students with a learning disability or something like that, it was difficult to keep them engaged. So to find ways to keep these students entertained, they're really young, so they don't really have the experience I necessarily have with my degree. So making sure that I came up with new ways to present the same material over and over again was definitely a challenge, but I think it made me more able to conduct a role in this type of position where it's only for a week. I've had so many different opportunities to express the same material over 4 months. I can put that into a week, and I think I can make a big impact on some of these kids.
Okay, that's great. Have you ever worked with students in a residential setting before? What do you perceive your role to be when residing with students on campus?
I've never per se worked with them in a residential role. The 4-month program we had in Maryland was simply kind of a 9-to-5 thing. Working with students in a residential role, I think that gives you more time to connect with them and kind of pick their brains. My experience when you're working with students is they're kind of shy. They don't want to open up in front of these different people that they've never met before. And from what I read in this job description, we have students coming in from all over the United States. So to kind of let them open up and become more comfortable, especially with their main advisor, I think my downtime with these students will be the most effective, more so than some of these group sessions that I read about.
Okay. Tell us about your experience with a variety of environmental disciplines, from science to policy to law, and your comfort in communicating about these topics to high school students.
Okay. Well, like I said, with my experience in environmental policy in college, along with my communication skills, I think I'm a great public speaker. I think I'll be able to, no matter what message we're trying to convey to these kids, I think I'll be able to do so in a positive, kind of effective manner, but also make it fun. With my job experience with the SCA, I had a lot of time to learn about different policies on the environment. Because we were a nonprofit, we had a lot of downtime and we had to know exactly what we were talking about. And I think that experience, 4 months worth, being able to convey that again in a week's time, I think I'll definitely be able to have an impact with these students, and not only with a work experience, but also a 4 years degree worth. I think I have a lot of knowledge that I could pass along.
Okay, that's great. This program is going to run really long hours, very little downtime. How would you, as an advisor, keep students engaged and motivated through the day?
I think the most important thing is to have fun. You can't expect these high school students to treat this like a job. You're going to have to keep them engaged in a kind of playful, fun way. It's a very serious topic, and it's kind of alarming to read about and learn about some of these environmental issues. So for a high school student, they're only 17 or 18 years old, you really have to find a way to incorporate fun into everything we do. Being such a long day, I've read that we have field trips and things like that. I think that alone will be able to keep them engaged because you have different settings. It doesn't sound like we're keeping them in the classroom for the entire time. So I think with what I've read, I think you folks have done a great job with making sure we keep students in different areas. But I think with my experience on different ways to convey the same material, I think we'll definitely be able to have some fun with these students and make sure we get these environmental issues portrayed in a positive manner.
Well, it's great. It seems like you've done some of your research about our company. Students will be expected to work both individually and in small group settings. If you saw a student who was constantly on his or her own, not participating, how would you handle that?
I think you'll be able to find out who the quote-unquote weak links are on the first day. You'll be able to see who are the ones that are engaged and who are the ones that kind of were forced to come here because their mom and dad wanted them to learn about the environment. Like I said, the downtime between the students and the different group organizations, I think that will be a great time to let students know that the more they actively engage themselves, not only with myself but their peers, I think the downtime will allow me to make sure that everyone's comfortable. I think students don't participate because sometimes they're not comfortable or they feel like someone else is better than them or has more knowledge. And I think if we all know that we're on the same playing field and everyone's opinion counts on an issue like this, I think if everyone understands that, we'll be in a pretty good position.
Yeah, that sounds great. As mentioned before, this program will consist of very long days, 17 to 18-hour days in a week. Do you have any reservations, any time constraints about this?
No, I've blocked out my schedule. I plan to get plenty of sleep beforehand. I think that'll be important. I heard you guys sell Red Bull on campus, so that's a plus.
Yes, yes, we do.
I think as long as we keep things fun, I won't have any problem making sure that I'm enthused. I think as long as us as an advisor stay positive and remain enthused, that the rest of the week should go pretty smoothly.
If you have a student in your small group who seems to monopolize the discussions and speaking opportunities during the conference, how would you work with that student?
I think it kind of goes along with the same manner of the student who wouldn't participate. I think if you talk to them in the downtime and let them know that it's important to get everyone's opinions out, that we'll have a more constructive and effective week together. I think it's great that students want to kind of lead group organizations and talks because you need that one leader in the group. But at the same time, if we don't have everyone participating, we're not getting everything out of the week that we possibly can. So I think the more we can encourage these strong individuals to incorporate the rest of their group mates, I think that would be the most effective way to go about that rather than asking them to not participate at all.
What kind of contribution do you think that you can help these young people make for the environment? Can you provide any examples?
Okay. I think because I'm young, I think I'll be able to connect with them on a personal basis. And I think if you can connect with these kids, I think that's going to be extremely important. And with my knowledge and my experience working with environmental issues in the past, I really do think that if you continue to portray things in a positive manner, they'll be intrigued. If you get these kids intrigued, they'll retain the information you're giving them. And as long as you keep things kind of fun and exciting, you're really going to have a positive outcome for this week. So I guess my biggest thing is as long as I can remain positive and keep these kids intrigued with what we're talking about, I think I can make an impact. I think the biggest thing is for here, you want to make sure that this just isn't kind of an ends to a means, that they're going to retain this information and actually care about what you're giving them.
Okay, that's a great answer. What are your future goals and how could this position assist in that end goal?
I really have a passion for higher education, so I think positions like this will allow you to connect with students on a different level, and I think a position like this will continually increase my experience not only working with students in higher education, but also getting into the environmental side of things. I really like nonprofit organizations that have environmental policy concerns, so I think this is adding to just an overall resume for me, and I really like the organization you guys have put together.
Okay. What kind of questions did you have for us? Is there anything I can clarify for you?
Yeah, the only thing I didn't find in my research about the company is, for you folks, what kind of pay are we talking about? I know it's only a week program.
For pay, we'll actually, if we decide to call you back, we'll actually talk about that next time.
Okay, that's fair. Like I said, I did do some research, and I see that it's only a week program. But I really like what you guys are doing here. Is there any possible chance of advancement here? Is there any way you guys keep people on after that 1 week?
Well, it is a new position, so there's a lot of, open opportunities. We're not sure exactly where it's going to go, but
Okay.
I feel like if you do a good job, if we decide to call you back, you do a good job, then you never know, it's new, so
Okay.
any opportunities.
That's fair. All right. Well, thanks for having me today. I'm looking forward to your call.
Okay.
Thanks.